Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wal aqibatu lil muttaqeen, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulihi Muhammadin wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Amma ba'd, fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyamu kama kutiba alal lazina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. Sadaqallahul azim wa sadaqa rasuluhun nabiyyul kareem. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا ومولانا محمد وبارك وسلم وسلم عليه. All praises for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator of this entire cosmos. May the choicest blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be upon our Nabi, Nabiullah, Habibullah, Sarkar Medina, روح حسين نبي كريم رؤوف الرحيم رحمة للعالمين سيد المرسلين خاتم النبيين إمام الأنبياء أحمد مجتبى محمد أربي محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وبارك وسلم. Welcome to the beginning of the chapter of Sawm, Bab Sawm in Qaduri. This is also one of the 5 pillars of Islam, so it's an immensely important topic, alhamdulillah ta'ala. The verse I recited in the khutbah, in the opening, was taken from Surah Al-Baqarah, specifically verse number 183. And essentially it means, O you who have attained faith, fasting is ordained to you like it was ordained to those who came before you, so that you might remain conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this really guns home the point on the importance of fasting and how it was sort of obligatory upon the previous ummahs that came with respect to Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, and now to the ummah of Rasul al-Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa barak wasallam. Going into the text of Qaduri, it opens with saying that there are 2 different kinds of fast, or 2 different types of fast, which is the first type being obligatory fasts, and the second type being nawafil fasts, supererogatory fasts. You may be thinking, with respect to obligatory fasts, what do I mean? There's a few different kinds of obligatory fast. The one that we're commonly sort of concerned with is the fasting in the month of Ramadan al-Kareem. This is clearly an obligatory fast, and I'm sure everyone's already aware of this. However, there are certain other fasts which become obligatory by nature of their essence. For instance, the fast of specific vows, which is also known as the fast of Nadhr. This is a fast which is a sort of compulsory fast, and it's mandatory upon you. For example, if I say, if I get a 2-1 classification in my degree this summer, I will fast for 100 days. Then they say that this 100 days of fasting would become binding upon me upon achieving a 2-1 classification in my degree. Please note, if I was to fast these 100 fasts now, and then tomorrow I was to get a 2-1 in my degree classification, because the condition is met at a later date, those 100 fasts will be operational or required from me again. So these fasts of Nadhr are, when they're conditional fasts, okay, they're only operational and they're only sort of due from you once the condition is fulfilled. So if you do it beforehand and then later the condition is fulfilled, you have to do the 100 fasts again. Okay, so please be aware of these kinds of fasts where there's a specific vow by somebody. They voluntarily make this vow, and this would then become incumbent upon you to fulfill with respect to obligatory fasts. With respect to nawafil fasts or optional fasts, there are those fasts which are, somebody does for the sake of ibadat. Somebody, fulfills these fasts. They say, I'm gonna fast, today for the month of Rabiul Awwal, or on a Monday, in accordance with the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And commonly Thursdays, you find that people tend to fast by the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There's many other different kinds of fasts, but just for you to be aware of, these were sort of the main ones for you to be concerned with at this stage. The other kind of fast, which also fall under the banner of compulsory fasts or mandatory fasts, or those fasts which you must make up due to expiation of your original obligatory fast. For instance, if you was to Nauzubillah, break your fast in the month of Ramadan intentionally, then you would be required to expiate that fast. Okay, let's say you ate or you drank by intentionally. Why you would do that, Nauzubillah. But anyway, we have to look at these circumstances. Sharia does cater for all these different events. Now, you would be expected to sort of give kafara for that or compensate for that, and to which we will look at in more detail slightly later, inshallah al-aziz. Just before we conclude this video, I will be talking about the mustahabs of or the emphasized sunnahs of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam with respect to fasting. These are some of the common ones perhaps where people aren't aware of and should take note in with respect to them. Eating the pre-dawn meal, the suhoor meal before the Fajr prayer. This was something which was emphasized in the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. And even if it means waking up just to have a sip of water or a date or something like this, it is something which is preferred and something which is within the Sunnah of Rasul Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we should encourage our family members and we should try and sort of live up to this particular Sunnah. Also, to open the fast immediately after sort of the suhoor time, immediately after iftar time. Okay, we shouldn't delay massively or go off and do X, Y, and Z. When the time of sunset comes about and Maghrib comes about, we should endeavour to sort of open our fast in this respect. Also, there's various other sunnahs with respect, which are mustahab with respect to different conditions of opening the fast. But the Book of Quduri, it also makes mention of opening the fast with dates. Okay, this is also something which is preferred. This is also something which is from amongst the sunnah of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. So we should endeavour to make it open it with dates. I know some people they don't sort of take a massive liking to dates, but nevertheless try to open it with virtuous things as explained in other parts of the sunnah, for instance water or milk, which was also preferred by Rasul Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam on a general basis. Okay, we will go into more detail with respect to niyyah and making intention when beginning your fast. But this is also something at this stage which you should know as something which is emphasized and is within the mustahab of the Prophet ﷺ, from the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. And we will look at this in a little bit further detail, inshallah al-aziz, in the next video. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينَ.